good afternoon. This is a heck of a scene, and I can't thank our WashU colleagues enough for just giving us an incredible environment to be here today. How about this? The rings behind us, beautiful setting, Francis Olympic Field right over here. I know it's hot. Appreciate everybody braving the weather. If we can keep that cloud over there for a little bit. That actually looks really good. I think I got some time to burn because that is a long cloud. So that's great. But huge thank you to all of you for being here. It's so cool to look out and see this scene. So we're very grateful. My name's Mark Schreiber, the president of the St. Louis Sports Commission. I want to start out just by telling you it always makes me happy when we're in the presence of the great Jackie Joyner-Kersee. But I've never been happier to see Jackie than I was a few days ago on a Zoom call. I'm glad you're laughing already. About 17 hours earlier, my colleague Brad Wackler and I had received a calendar invite from USA Track and Field that simply had the subject line, OTM STL. After submitting our bid for the 2028 U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials back on December 1st, it appeared it was finally time to learn whether we had been awarded the event or not. And credit to USATF. They had played it close to the vest, no hints, no giveaways, no signals, nothing that gave us a sense of which way the decision was going. So the time for the call rolls around, and I log on early, and there's Brad on screen, and up pops Jackie. And at that moment, huge relief, because I'm thinking, there's no way they have Jackie Joyner-Kersee on this call, and they're going to tell us we're not getting the event. But Jackie wasn't there just because she's our six-time Olympic medalist, and they thought it would be nice to share the news with her. Jackie was there because, as USATF CEO Matt Siegel said, she was our secret weapon, to which I had to remind Max, Jackie is no secret. How lucky are we that we can look to Jackie to not only inspire and do wonders for young people in our region, especially in East St. Louis. That, of course, would be enough, but we can also count on her to actively and selflessly go to bat for us, advocate for St. Louis, and be present whenever we need her. Just as our staff and our friends at Go St. Louis did on the bid, Jackie worked it. For all of that, it's appropriate that she'd be the one who officially shares today's great news with all of you. Jackie, come on up.
I think the secret is out of the bag. Oh. Okay, Mark. You know, first of all, I think this is a great, great day for St. Louis, for our region, but also for this announcement. And everything that I have been able to do, I haven't done it alone. And as a mentor to someone, Don Harper Nelson, I love you. You in the background. Come on up here. Yes, come on up here. Olympic champion. I've been her mentor. You know, the local organizing committee, you know, had us at dinners, and she was here. It wasn't on the script. But anyway, I love you. You know I love you. And, you know, Mark was talking about that cloud. And
it's leaving us.
You know, yes. And anyway, before it gets too hot. Okay. We are so proud to announce, what you think? that St. Louis has been awarded the 2028 U.S. Olympic Trials Marathon. Right here.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We know what that's like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. We do. Yeah.
Congrats. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the local community, the business, everyone who continue to believe in what the St. Louis Sports Commission is not trying to do, but doing for this region. And I want to say thank you to the U.S. Olympic Committee, as well as the Paralympics, for entrusting us with this event. But more importantly, also on behalf of Max Siegel, the CEO of USA Track and Field, for seeing what St. Louis has to offer, and also how the athletes they're going to come from all over the nation, and to see what St. Louis has to offer and point into them and the community, the fan experience. You can add a few words, Don.
Well, something that really just sticks with me is I vividly remember each team that I made, how special the place was that I made that team. And St. Louis will be that for the 2028 Marathon Olympic Trials. This will forever be a special place in our heart. And I think we're honored for that.
Yes. And not every city can say they have the Olympic rings right here on Wash U campus. That is incredible because the St. Louis Sports Commission fought hard. It all started here.
Yeah.
Over 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that? I wasn't here, and so a lot of you. But anyway, we just want to say thank you for coming out because we do have a long day, and it is pretty hot. And, I have a script here, so I better go to it. Now it's my honor to introduce the mayor of St. Louis, Carol Spencer. Honorable Carol, there she is.
How cool is this? As the mayor of the city of St. Louis, I couldn't be more proud and more honored to stand before you here today. Really, this is, our future and our history coming together in such a beautiful way. It brings me just immense joy and pride as the mayor to stand here at one of the 1904 St. Louis Olympics World sites here for this announcement for the 2028 Olympic qualifiers to be held right here with our nation's best runners right here, grown right here, training right here, traversing our city and region, showcasing our rich history, our remarkable architecture, and of course, our beautiful parks to viewers on the national stage. As the first Olympic city here in the United States, St. Louis truly is the perfect site for this, to put our nation's best runners to the test and determine who will represent our flag in the LA Olympics. When I think about how we were able to land this, something Jackie said, these things don't happen in a silo. Not only the sports commission, the business community, it took all of us rowing together, pledging to the selection committee that the city of St. Louis, the St. Louis region, we are dedicated to making this fun, making this safe, and making this successful. We did that by working together. Together in collaboration, St. Louis, we can do great things. And this is a new trajectory for our city, for our region, and I couldn't be more proud. As the marathon runners will have the opportunity to get to know some of the most beautiful landmarks, they'll also earn the right to eat some of the most wonderful food. Of course, we know our gooey butter cake and all those things, but our culinary scene puts us on the map, and I'm incredibly proud of that. The unique opportunity, as Mark was pointing out, to not only run these trials, but to end them in one of the world's most beautiful stadiums is just phenomenal. So I couldn't be more pleased, more proud, and more committed to making sure that this event is successful. I also want to just recognize our police departments, both city and county, were instrumental in making this pledge. I mentioned our business community and, of course, the Sports Commission, but so many folks played a role here. And as we think about the future of our city and our region, working together is the way we do big things. Thank you so much, and we could not be more thrilled. Get ready for some new iconic hairstyles to come on the runners throughout the United States. All right, thank you. Oh, and I'm supposed to bring you, am I supposed to bring you back
No, you're
up?
fine.
All right.
You were perfect. Everybody, Mayor Kara Spencer, thank you, Mayor, for being here. Very grateful for all you do and your support. In addition to Mayor Spencer, I know there are several other governmental officials here from the city of St. Louis, from St. Louis County, state of Missouri. Thank you all for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. Jackie Dunn, by the way, you guys should have your own podcast together or something. You guys got a little shtick going on, which is great. And thank you for including Dunn, our 2008 gold medalist. She's spectacular as well and has been with us through this process, so thank you. With the marathon trials coming to St. Louis, we're proud to renew our relationship with USA Track and Field. We've worked together on everything from the 2004 women's marathon trials to the 2012 and 13 USA Cross Country Championships, and even Jackie's farewell track meet back in 1998. As Jackie said, we're grateful to CEO Max Siegel, his staff, and the Long Distance Running Committee for entrusting us with one of their biggest events. Representing USATF today is Long Distance Running Director Rob Mullett, who I should note is a 2016 Olympian, and Rob is standing right there. Thank you, Rob, for being here. And also Chief Content and Communications Officer Jay Holder. It's my pleasure to invite Jay to the podium to speak on behalf of USA Track and Field. Jay, thank you.
I didn't know that I was going to have to follow the mayor of track and field, and the legendary Dawn Harper Nelson today. So tough act to follow. And on the way over here, Mayor Spencer mentioned the cuisine. On the way over here, Tim Ryan and I from the Sports Commission were talking about whether we should serve fried ravioli during the race or after the race. I think we're going to go with after, but plans are in the works. On behalf of USATF CEO Max Siegel, I want to thank the City of St. Louis, the St. Louis Sports Commission, Go St. Louis, Wash U, and Big River Running for their partnership. We are truly excited about working together over the next 660 days on an event to send the United States top marathoners to LA, which starts in 770 days, just in case anyone's keeping track. That might seem like it's a long ways away, but if anyone who's trained for the Olympics knows, and I'm not one of those people, but there are at least 3 of them in the audience, that's not that long. I can assure you it's going to move very quickly. We have an ultra marathon's worth of work to do, much of which has already started by the people in this crowd. Before that, Runners Set Command happens here on March 25th, 2028. After meeting with the local organizing committee, everybody at USA Track and Field is sure, positive, the course, the accommodations, the services will be world-class, not just for the runners, but for the spectators and the national TV audience who will have an opportunity to see this city in a way they have never seen it before. Nothing highlights a city like a marathon. If you're not already a fan of this sport, I encourage you over the next couple of months to watch the New York City Marathon, the Chicago Marathon, the Berlin Marathon, and you'll see how much of a starring role the city plays in the spectacle that is a marathon. It's really amazing. It's a lot of work, as I said, and it's a healthy amount of stress, sometimes unhealthy, but it's often said in distance running that much of the joy comes in the buildup, the preparation. And that applies to this journey we're all embarking on today as well. When we come back here again in 2 years, it will be for a day that changes lives. For 6 Americans, it will be the day they become Olympians. For hundreds more, it will be their Olympics. And for all of you here in St. Louis, it will be the day that those athletes proudly proclaim that you made it happen, that they couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Jay, thank you very much. There's so much our region stands to gain from hosting the marathon trials, which will take place on Saturday, March 25th, 2028. I suspect it will be a little cooler of a day than this. There's the economic impact. 100,000 people are expected to line the course. Many will be from out of town. There's the national media coverage, a 3-hour showcase of St. Louis live on NBC. And there's the boost and momentum that the trials will provide our own homegrown race, the Greater St. Louis Marathon. We are pleased to partner with Go St. Louis to host the trials and grateful to Mona Vespa and the entire organization for their role in the successful bid, not to mention the passion, enthusiasm, and expertise they're bringing to the table. Mona's been connected to Go St. Louis since 2000, president for the last 10 years. Mona, where is Mona? There you are. Sorry, everything's blending in. Thank you so much. Congratulations to you and Go St. Louis. Come on up.
Thank you, Mark, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for this incredibly exciting announcement. On behalf of Go St. Louis, we are absolutely thrilled to say that our city was selected as a host for the 2028 U.S. Olympic Marathon Team Trials, and our organization, Go St. Louis, is honored to get to play a role in bringing this event to life over the next 2 years. I'd like to thank USA Track and Field for their trust and our expertise and in our community here in St. Louis. And of course, a huge thank you to Mark and the entire St. Louis Sports Commission for their commitment to bringing world-class events like this one to our region. So as the leader of an organization that produces our city's marathon, I believe our greatest purpose is more than just putting on a race. And I think Jay already said it, but I'm gonna say the same thing. My job as the leader of the city's marathon is to showcase our city, is to make it shine for thousands of runners who come here to run through its streets. And I have to tell you, I know it's true. There's no better way to take a tour of a city than running 26.2 miles of it on foot. I'm glad most of you agree with that. There's enough runners in this audience for that. But truly, there is nothing like running through our city, mile by mile. You're seeing the landmarks, you're seeing our neighborhoods, you're seeing all of our people on the streets, and you're feeling the pride that connects everyone mile by mile by mile, 26.2 of them. So for me to be able to take that work and that mission that we have at Go St. Louis and then showcase it on a national stage now, both of course through the incredible athletes who will be competing in the Olympic trials and to the tens and thousands of spectators and visitors who are going to be a part of the event, it is truly a privilege for us at Go St. Louis to be able to do that. And of course, Mark mentioned, but to make the weekend even more exciting, I'm delighted to share that the 2028 Greater St. Louis Marathon will move to Sunday, March 26th that year, so that we can have a celebration of running that brings together the Olympians, everyday runners, and our entire community. That also means that Sunday's marathon participants will first get to experience the Olympic trials as spectators. They'll get to cheer on the country's best as they compete for that place on Team USA. And then they'll get to take to the streets themselves, and they'll get to complete their own 26.2-mile journey. I'm really looking forward to leading a talented team of local and national race management professionals as we work to execute that world-class weekend of events here in St. Louis. Our city has a proud Olympic legacy. We have exceptional facilities and hospitality. And so important to me, we have a running community that is passionate, welcoming, and incredibly committed to bringing the 2028 Marathon Olympic Team Trials here to St. Louis. I cannot wait to share all of that with the rest of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mona. All right, so now that we've secured the trials, we're on the clock, the hard work really begins. As part of that, it is on us to raise the funds necessary to produce an outstanding event. We have a long way to go, but we're off to a great start because of the leadership and generosity of Lal Carsonby and Emerson, Mike Lloyd and the Interco Charitable Trust, and Rue Yowitz and the Rio Vista Foundation. They deserve applause. There'll be more to come. It's important to note we could not land the trials without the financial commitments they made early in the bid process. They laid the groundwork, and now we need others from both the private and public sectors to follow their lead in the coming months. We'll hear from Lal in just a moment, but I first want to acknowledge Mike Lloyd, who is our illustrious and selfless Sports Commission Chair and has led us to some great victories of late and has been so wonderfully supportive of us. Mike, stand up. Everybody give a nice round of applause for Mike Lloyd. Thank you. I'd ask you to do the same for Rue Yowitz, but he's traveling today and unable to be here. He did text me yesterday to note we have 660 days to go. Jay, was that consistent with you? Did you 660? Okay. There we go. Good enough. I'm glad he was consistent with that. He said he's looking forward to working with us and to blow this up and making it the best marathon trials ever. I know Lal is equally charged up about this as an avid runner who cares so much about St. Louis. We're thrilled to have him, Rue, and Jackie serving as our co-chairs of our local organizing committee. Please join me in saluting the president and CEO of St. Louis-based Emerson, Lal Carsonby.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. You know, I prepared some remarks, but I'm going to reflect on the afternoon that Mike and Mark came to see me in my office and presented this opportunity. I think it was a very short discussion because for me and all of us at Emerson, it was a no-brainer. It was an absolute no-brainer of an opportunity to showcase the great community that we're a part of and the great community that we all are trying to co-create. Let me begin here by thanking and recognizing a few of the individuals that have already been mentioned, but I think we cannot over-mention them. Mayor Spencer, thank you so much for your commitment and your energy and passion for our city. The folks at Big River Running, I know Matt Hilbig's here. I saw him earlier. They're the best. Great leadership. Thank you, Matt, and to your team. Of course, Mark and the St. Louis Sports Commission, Mike as chair. Thank you, gentlemen. Incredible organization. Mona Vespa, thank you. You're just wonderful to be around, and your energy and passion for this sport is absolutely contagious. Thank you. You even made my daughter a runner. How about that? Jackie Joyner-Kersee, my gosh, what can I say? Then I can't say anything. You're the best. Chancellor Andrew Martin, we stand here in front of your rings, in front of this great institution, which I'll talk a little bit about as well. And of course, the folks from USA Track and Field. Thank you for your trust in us and award of this important marathon trials. Hosting the trials in St. Louis, where these Olympic rings stand as a symbol of the 1904 Games, connects us as a community to a legacy of athletic excellence and community pride. That is what runs deep inside of this community and this city, and is also a fabric of the culture of this great academic institution, Washington University. 120 years later, we continue to prove that St. Louis is a world-class destination for sport, business, and culture. And in the spring of 2028, when thousands of spectators come to our city and walk through our streets, explore our wonderful neighborhoods, visit our restaurants, Kara, and our shops, we will make that abundantly clear to them. We will put St. Louis on the global stage yet again. We will generate the attention, the economic opportunity, and momentum to keep building We will show the world that we are a city where ambition is alive, and where excellence is celebrated. And we will send everybody home with a strong belief about who we are, along with a newfound inspiration to chase excellence in sports and beyond. I'm honored to be here with you today as a citizen of St. Louis, as a graduate of this incredible university, and as a runner. I'm so excited that Emerson is supporting this historic event. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I will say that was one of my most gratifying days was that afternoon Mike and I came, and your commitment just meant so much to us, so thank you. I also want to give another shout out to someone who's also one of our heroes, and that's Explore St. Louis CEO Brad Dean. Brad couldn't be here today due to a meeting he has out of town, but I would be remiss if I didn't call out his support and tell you how much of a difference he's making in our ability to be successful. Okay, we're at, I think, mile 26 here. Don't worry, we didn't have 26 speakers on the agenda in honor of the marathon. We're good. 122 years after becoming America's first Olympic city, it still matters that St. Louis hosted the Summer Games. The proof is right here today. As an Olympic city, we have a great story to tell, and we can implement a vision that's uniquely St. Louis. Our plans for the 2028 trials call for the course to start right here at Francis Olympic Field, site of the 1904 Games, and finish in spectacular fashion inside Energizer Park. Imagine that scene with 22,000 fans cheering on the athletes as they emerge from the tunnel, chasing down Olympic dreams. How cool will that be? And what better bookends could we have for the trials than starting at our area's most venerable sports venue and finishing at our newest, most venerable sports venue? Having that come together took the collaboration and cooperation of WashU and St. Louis City SC. We're lucky to have such outstanding partners. Thank you to WashU Chancellor Andrew Martin and City SC CEO Carolyn Kindle, who are both in attendance and have remarks to share. I'm going to bring up Chancellor Martin first. Chancellor Andrew Martin, everyone.
Thank you, Mark, and good afternoon, everyone. How cool is this for all of us here in St. Louis? I would like to thank the entire St. Louis Sports Commission for the extraordinary work to make this happen. On behalf of Washington University in St. Louis, welcome to our campus, and particularly to Francis Olympic Field to celebrate this exciting announcement. 124 years ago, the first Olympic marathon ever run on American soil started and finished on this campus. That race, part of the 1904 Olympic Games, is a piece of history that we are very proud of. I imagine that those organizers in 1904 viewed that event as not just an isolated moment in time, but rather the start of something big for St. Louis. And in March of 2028, that dream will be given new life when the nation's fastest marathon runners will come to WashU to pursue their Olympic dreams. The race that begins here will take them through Forest Park, past the Gateway Arch, and finish inside of Energizer Park. Two of those landmarks weren't here in 1904, but they all represent the legacy and the ambition of our great city. WashU is a place that's built on the pursuit of excellence. So it's fitting that some of our country's greatest athletes will bring that same spirit to our campus and our city on race day. We could not be more honored to host them. Thank you to all of our regional partners who helped bring this race home. And thank you to Carolyn Kendall, who you'll hear from next, and St. Louis City SC for being our counterpart and building a finish line worthy of these athletes and the proud spirit of St. Louis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor Martin, and thank you to everyone from the St. Louis Sports Commission for securing another transformative event for the city of St. Louis. On behalf of everyone at St. Louis City SC, I can't tell you how excited we are to play a part in hosting another major Olympic event in 2028. It's fantastic to have the Olympic Marathon Trials join the 8 Olympic soccer matches that will take place at Energizer Park in St. Louis in 2028. It is really shaping up to be a fabulous Olympic year for the region. I know St. Louis sports fans who always show up for big events will pack the stadium and create a truly electric atmosphere for the runners as they cross the finish line. Being able to showcase our city through big events like Olympic Marathon Trials is exactly why we invested so much time, money, and energy in building a stadium that everyone from St. Louis can be proud of. St. Louis is truly on the rise, and I cannot wait to see what's next for this town. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn. And just some final acknowledgments, and then we can all get into the shade. But my thank you again to Wash U for hosting us today. Nicole, Josh, your whole staff, grateful for all that you've done to help us with this. I do want to thank our staff at the Sports Commission, including Brad Wackler, who spearheaded the trials bid along with Kristen Otto and Tim Ryan. Somebody just do a shout out for Kristen? That was nice. Tim Ryan and our entire team. I got to tell you, the bid for the trials was due on December 1st. 1 week earlier, our staff executed a flawless Musial Awards. A month later, they organized the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, and we all know how that went. To pull all that together and end up here today with the culmination of a winning bid just speaks volumes. So my thanks to all of them for their great work. Lau mentioned Matt Helbig. Matt is with Big River Race Management, key member of our local organizing committee. It's great to have him involved. And I am so glad that Ben Rosario could be here. Ben is right back here, joining us all the way from Arizona, a longtime friend of the Sports Commission. He actually was our director for the 2012 and 13 cross-country championships that were here. It's a thrill to reconnect with him as he served as an advisor on our bid. Ben reached out to me a year ago about this time when he heard we were interested in the trials and called and said, hey, happy to help you guys. And he was the one that planted the seed on the idea of finishing at Energizer Park. So if that goes well, credit to Ben. But he's been a great advocate and ally for us, and it'll be wonderful to have him involved in 2028. My friend Tim Ryan has noted for the media, we'll have a group photo of our dignitaries right up here when we wrap up in a second. And then once that's finished, we'll be available for one-on-one interviews right here around the rings, and copies of the news release will be passed out once we wrap up. And so, finally, I will leave you with this. What a year 2028 is shaping up to be. We will have the U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials, likely the Olympic Torch Relay, not a done deal yet, but I'd say the odds are good, and the previously announced Olympic soccer matches. How many cities would yearn for that kind of Olympic activity and wish to be so closely connected to the LA Games? St. Louisans should feel darn good about that. Thank you all for being here. We will see you right back here and throughout the Olympic Marathon Trials course on Saturday, March 25th, 2028. Thank you all.